You're about to listen to a podcast full of wonder, excitement, and discovery. It's time for an adventure through Odyssey. Tell me if you like the jazz hands, by the way. It was suggested I quit doing that. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Adventures Through Odyssey podcast, Odyssey Revisited. I'm Will here with Gabe and Liv. Unfortunately, John is at college orientation this week at a school he requested I did not name. But let's just say the Fighting Irish might be involved. Couldn't possibly figure out what school that is. So we had a few technical errors. We were supposed to post an Album 43 show a week ago, but I accidentally lost the footage. And
accidentally.
Be quiet.
Well, at least I can be in it now.
Yes. So we're re-recording the episode, and then later in the week, we're probably going to have a very special episode where we talk about drugs.
Oh gosh, what?
No, a very special episode where Leah will be joining us, and we'll be talking about Album 61 without a hitch. Let's just say I have some thoughts on that wedding, and we're going to talk about them.
Oh,
all right.
I gotta get listening.
Who the minister was specifically.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Just glad I didn't roll out George Barkley again.
I would have been fine with that.
Yeah. Anyway, we're doing Album 43 Along for the Rides, and we're going to kick it off with 548, Sounds Like a Mystery. A miniature Statue of Liberty is stolen from the Celebration of Liberty exhibit, so Wit, Captain Richard Quinn, and Sergeant Beverly Collins start a unique investigation to figure out who's responsible.
I found this episode kind of dumb, though.
Yeah.
It's like, how dumb are you? It's like, well, one, Nick just gets bad rap from, like, everybody.
That is
it's
true.
really sad.
Yeah.
But I don't like how they made the person who did it was the cop. Like, that was dumb.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of a corrupt cop story either. And of course, this story wouldn't have flown today, obviously.
Oh, no, it wouldn't.
Yeah. I think it was kind of a no-win situation, because it also would have been kind of dumb if it was Rodney.
Yeah, it would have been kind of dumb.
It's too easy to pin it on Rodney.
Right, it would have been too easy to pin it on Rodney, but you wouldn't be sitting there thinking, I don't know why Wit feels so quick to blame Nick.
Yeah. Like, the cop, whatever the guy cop was, jumped to conclusions really quickly, I felt.
Yeah. And, of course, I've always had this question, how do people hide in suits of armor? Meaning, how do they get into them? That is my question. Like, have you ever actually seen a suit of armor? Because I have, and there's no way to get into it without dismantling the whole thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least her hiding in the imagination station would have made sense.
Yeah,
What if she hid in the imagination station, the door locked, Wit found her, and then you put him in a Room of Consequence adventure about stealing?
Well, then the world would end because she stole the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
Because every Room of Consequence
They didn't tie, yeah.
Yes. Although, speaking of police brutality, Marvin Washington will be coming back in the spring as a baseball coach.
Police officer.
Well, that would I would think that would be a very interesting way for them to tackle the whole subject. Let's bring back an old character to address it. Now, yes, it could go either way if that's what they're doing, but I think it's as a baseball coach, so... Either way, break out the big bag of...
Get that Marvin's got along in life.
True. Anyway, break out the big bag of cheese doodles. Marvin's coming back.
Oh gosh. It's the focus version of Cheetos.
Yes. Alrighty. Next episode? Unless anyone has any other points. Think on these things. Marvin Washington and Trent DeWitt scan their homework assignments into the imagination station to better solve word problems in math. However, the boys end up taking the capabilities of the machine a bit too far.
I was very confused during this whole episode. It's like, why would you do that?
But it was pretty funny, though, when Trent was yelling at the teacher.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was like, is this in real life? No. It's supposed to be the imagination station. Because if someone in my family had found out.
Yeah. I mean, there are plenty of professors, specifically, who I would love to give a good verbal lashing to.
Here's the thing that I don't really understand. Why would Dr. Hawthorne teach at a middle school?
Yeah, Dr. Hawthorne.
Doctor.
Why
Yeah.
would he try to get people to go faster on math problems? Where usually teachers are like saying it's not a race, just go as slow as you need to go.
Right.
Like,
I have no idea. And also,
Yeah,
man, I just say, why is it in every TV show or kids media word problems are this super challenging event?
because they kind of are.
I never had to have a unit on word problems, as I recall. Okay, maybe you did, Liv.
Yeah,
But you went to a public school, probably.
I did. I did go to a public school all my life until here,
Right.
because this is technically a private school.
Gabe, you're homeschooled. Did you have to do story problems as a unit?
yeah, I'm not homeschooled, but
Oh.
no,
Wait, what are you?
Whoops.
online.
Well, you're still at home.
No, but it's so much different.
Man, the color
So
balance is
much
super off on this thing. True. No, I actually do like the idea of the imagination station being used to teach kids word problems or how to solve them better.
Yeah,
It reminded me of like an episode of like Odd Squad. If you don't know what that is, it's basically Cyber Chase, only real people and a lot of weird stuff.
we're beating Hacker and his game.
You know that's still on, right, Gabe?
Really?
Yes.
Cyber Chase, yeah. Oh, the nostalgia of the 90s.
Yeah. John and I were working on an Arthur-related project, and we came across that when we were trying to find some information, which will be coming. Oh, go ahead.
They're like, it's still alive!
Yes, the Arthur project will be coming to a YouTube channel near you very soon.
Oh gosh.
But anyway, right, I mean, we've all had that fantasy of yelling at the teacher. In my case, it would be more Colin Firth and Church at Kingsman on my teacher, but,
Not Breaking Bad.
well, that is great. Well, for anyone who's seen Kingsman, you know what scene I'm referring to.
Which episode which scene of Kingsman?
Have you seen it?
Yes.
The one in Church. Which would be very, very appropriate for this specific professor.
Just say
Yes.
it, Will.
I'm not going to say it.
No, because it's so inappropriate.
I know.
Oh,
The thing is that so inappropriate.
No,
it's one of my favorite scenes though.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you who I'm talking about, Liv, when we stop rolling the camera. Let's put it that way.
Alright.
Anyway, and Dr. Hawthorne to me is the most frustrating character in all of Odyssey.
Just a little, yeah.
We're coming up on that episode pretty soon, everybody, so get ready for my 500-word essay on that.
alright.
Fairy Tale-o-vision. Connie and Jason use kids' radio to broadcast a show dealing solely with fairy tale stories molded together to highlight the consequences of sin.
This was an episode that was hard to listen to. You know how I texted you and was like, the Power of One is really hard to listen to. This
Yeah.
was another one that it was really hard to listen to.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I just gotta suffer through it. I gotta.
Yeah, I didn't even listen to it again, so.
I did. I have memories of this episode because right around the time this album started, we found out a station in Rockford broadcast Adventures in Odyssey weekly, when the new episodes were happening. This was one of the first episodes we heard, and it was one of the early exposures we had to weekly serialization, where if it's a bad episode, you've got to suffer through it and wait for a whole week for the next one to bounce you back.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty awful.
It's really bad.
Copyright.
I don't know why it's making noise. It's not supposed to be making noise.
As Liv's roommate tries to solve this problem, we're just going to sit here awkwardly and stare at her.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sound wasn't coming in.
So does anyone have any other notes on the episode?
It was not supposed to make noise.
I don't.
There was nothing on my phone.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Stars in our eyes. The gang at Wit's End tries to come up with a unique television advertisement from a shop, and Tamika Washington gathers information for a report on her hero.
This was an okay episode.
There's a lot of good
It was-
jokes.
Yeah. It was a lot better than fairy television or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it was a lot better than that. It's not like a great episode.
Yeah.
But since it's after Fairy, whatever. It's
True.
called, it was like a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
Yeah.
To me, it's like a modern Simpsons episode. There are some good jokes, but the narrative is lacking. I mean, like Wooten's joke about Wooten's commercial about cottage cheese clearly being nothing about cottage cheese to begin with is hilarious.
I love Wooten.
Yes. Don't we
Wooten is
all?
great. What?
Don't we all? Yeah. Well. Oh, also, because we like to talk about Odyssey News on this show, they are releasing Captain Absolutely comic books next year.
Didn't they release them?
Captain
Four?
Absolutely.
They're either re-releasing them or releasing more.
Okay.
But you haven't gotten there yet.
No.
Oh.
But yes.
I was wondering though when. Oh no, this is so ahead from where this is. Never mind.
Yeah. Well.
So I had a note about Wooten, but it's okay.
Yes. Yeah. Wait till Wooten kind of falls off the rails at album 51. Liv is going to be so disappointed.
Oh no! Don't do that
I think
to
she'll
me.
like what his big secret is, though.
Which big secret?
The one we were just talking about.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I appreciated they brought back Davey Holcomb for just a little fan service.
Yeah.
And then we get the vapid celebrity joke. Which, again, how many connections does Wit have?
A lot. When you live as long as he does.
Well, yeah, but it just seems like Wit can be whatever they need for the situation.
Well,
Especially
also,
with the new episode.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like so many people I know are getting like really good jobs places. So it's like, oh, I've got connections. I'm gonna have connections soon.
Okay, then. Maybe it must be maybe it's just something you realize as you get older, but it just feels like, oh yeah, I know someone in Hollywood. Oh yeah, I know the mayor of Toronto. That doesn't actually happen because, the mayor of Toronto smoked crack for so long. I'm sure Wit didn't associate himself with him.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Anyway, Sunday morning scramble. The Washington family just can't get to church on time.
I was annoyed with this episode actually.
This is my favorite episode of the show.
I know because like it's. I'm sorry to bash your favorite episode, but
Oh,
it's
go ahead.
just too many crazy things happening at once.
Liv?
Because
Yeah.
okay. We're a family of 6.
Oh dear.
So, and, so I know how hectic it is, kind of, to get to church, especially when there's one kid who will refuse to get out of bed, but it was never as crazy as that.
We've had some crazy Sunday mornings in our house. I mean, you would be panicked too if the egg casserole was nowhere close to ready by the time you had to walk out the door.
That's when you just bring it to church, stuff it in the oven.
I just think it's funny that like all this crazy stuff is happening, then they find out about daylight savings time.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
Just a wee bit.
This is one that I at one point had memorized. So.
Oh right. Here's my thing about this episode. I get the daylight savings thing because it was just far away enough from social media saturating everything that they wouldn't have seen the Facebook post reminding them to set the clocks back. But,
Wasn't it pretty far from that?
it was 2004 or 5, so Facebook would
Okay.
just be starting up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's questionable how the adults didn't remember, but I know it was a hectic morning.
And Bart Rathbone was eating cereal with cheesecake.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Is it good?
No, I once had to use Cheerios for a cheesecake crust, so I always jokingly say I do it.
Oh,
It's like sugar on top of sugar.
That's true. Actually, Cheerios for a cheesecake crust with about a teaspoon of cinnamon works really well.
That actually sounds interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. It crumbles less than graham crackers, so...
okay.
Anyway, the one thing that always bothered me is Tamika's whole merit award thing. Okay, now I'm not saying you should do something just for the prize, but the fact that there was no prize and she was so into it is weird.
Well, it's kind of like how she memorized the 100 verses
Oh yeah.
later on. It's just like, yeah, I did this. And
True.
Well, if she's in like maybe 6th grade here,
yeah.
I could still be here. I could still see her being really into that kind of thing.
Right.
Well, if you're excited about something.
Yeah. And maybe it was a prize I just didn't mention, but yes. Now I would like to point out with this episode, we did have relatives who went to a concert with cream-filled donuts and at least one Willie Nelson song.
Oh gosh.
Actually, they were all Willie Nelson songs because it was Willie
The
Nelson.
Willie Nelson concerts.
Yeah. But apparently there were cream-filled donuts, according to the eyewitnesses.
Huh. That's weird.
Yes.
I don't know. I was just eating that bowling alley pizza.
Yep. Well, we are not going to talk about the bowling alley pizza story. If you want us to tell the bowling alley pizza story, leave it in the comments, and maybe we will one day.
One day.
Yes. But seriously, great episode. The car falling apart at the end is probably one of the more interesting parts. You know, one thing, I'm surprised Tom's at church early, but where's Whit?
Yeah! What?
He's a busy man. He's got to write some dictionary.
I just always assumed Whit and Tom probably were at the church 4 hours early.
Cleaning, setting up chairs.
Yeah. Well, Bernard would have to be there too then.
Yeah. And Wooten, just because that's a thing he would do.
No, he's driving the poor kids to church in a bus.
Oh, right. Come on, kids. Come get in my big van.
Oh gosh.
I think it's a bus. Like, he has an old school bus because Wooten probably has everything in that house.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
That makes me think, like, how big is this house?
I feel like
It would be
we...
a shame if it burned down.
Yes, it would.
Don't do that. Just focus right here. And then, you know what?
That would
Next
be horrible if they
episode.
wrote that in the script.
Next episode, Wooten's house burns down. You know who I'll blame? You.
Alright. I'm gonna be ready.
Alright. Hold on, my phone locked. Potential possibilities. Trent Dwight is placed in the gifted class at school and tries to find a way out. Meanwhile, both Tom and Aubrey confront their fears. I mean, I don't remember the gifted class being a group of weirdos.
Yeah, well, I didn't really have a gifted class when I was younger, but I'm sure, like, if there were really gifted people, they wouldn't be at my school.
True. Although Marvin points out the gifted class goes to go on a lot of cool field trips.
See, there's a word for the kind of kids that would be in that class.
What?
Special ed.
Yeah, especially at our school, and they'd probably be multicultural as well. Anyway. Well, I mean, I went to a school that was mostly smart kids. There wasn't like one group that went on a significant high number of field trips, but that's not the point of the episode.
Yeah.
My senior trip was to a bank, just so everybody knows.
Wow. Lame.
Mm.
So,
Lame.
I know. Ooh. Anyway, everyone but Trent seems okay with him being in a gifted class. Like, no one's making fun of him for it, and he just kind of...
I just thought it was funny of hearing his thoughts on how to get out,
Yeah.
and that was pretty good.
Yes. So what happens when you're Jared's brother,
Yeah.
but never talk about him?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jared's not around. Kind of liked him.
Yeah. I think he comes back a few times.
He's
Maybe.
probably, like, in his basement with conspiracy theories.
I think he's on the History Channel right now.
His walls look like CSI.
No, I think he's the aliens
He'll
guy.
just show up and be in the Witness Protection Program.
Yeah. Who knows?
Never know.
Yeah. And then the Tom and Aubrey story's pretty standard.
What were they afraid of again?
It was the horse. It was the thing about riding the horse, and then Tom Riley was apparently part of a magic act or comedy act or something.
Oh, yeah.
which I'd like to see Tom be part of a comedy act.
Yeah, I wonder why he doesn't do it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder why.
Who knows? Call me if you care. 3 strange messages are left on Connie's voicemail, which set Whit and herself on out to find the stranger who left them.
My only problem with this is, why was she trying so hard if she just wanted to tell her dad one thing?
No, we had to ask a question. She had to ask a question about, like, a disease or something.
And then,
Oh,
I thought she was telling him about her baby or something.
No, she was having the baby. There was some blood complication, so
Oh.
she needed the information, but the doctor found out the
That
baby
makes more
was
sense
fine.
now.
Yeah.
so she, like, also, she would have been, like, salty about the fact that he left all those years ago.
Right.
So she's like, oh, I have to talk to you, so I'm just gonna be salty about it.
Pretty much. And of course, because it's an Odyssey mystery about stuff that happened in the past, it has to connect to characters we remember.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Jack Allen's house.
Connie's phone.
Oh no! It's in Eugene's car. Yeah, so there's that. We joke.
Yeah, I thought it might have been, the whole thing might have been a little too convenient, but it was good.
Well, all these stories in Odyssey are a little too convenient.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's better than, like, say, the time capsule about murdering the guy when he was 8.
Huh?
When they find the time capsule and it turns out this guy murdered somebody with a gun when he was 8 on
yeah.
accident,
Okay.
and it's finally coming back around. And it just
Yeah.
this was less convenient than that, but it was still kind of, oh, of course it all comes back around to...
Someone who lives in Odyssey.
Exactly.
I like to see an episode where it's like, oh, this person lives in, like, New Jersey or something. Oh, well.
Yeah.
No, Whit would drive to New Jersey.
Yeah. This would
Okay,
be the right
then
thing
he has
to do.
then he has to live somewhere like,
Alaska.
no, because they would go to Alaska.
Yeah, Wooten lives in Alaska. Wooten's
Yeah.
from Alaska. He would go there.
Yeah. They had to live in,
Montana.
like, no,
California.
no,
Alright, I give up.
Alright.
Pakistan. There we go.
But Whit went to the
Or
Middle
the-
East.
Yeah, you'll find Wit there.
The made-up country what was it?
Rakistan.
Pakistan.
Rakistan.
Which is the tiniest bit offensive if you think about it. That's Family Guy
Just a
joke
little
level.
bit, yeah. It was like, they just made up a country for this. And so I was talking to one of the girls from work, and I said, they made up a country in Odyssey. And she's like, really? I said, yeah, it's called Iraqistan. She's like, what?
Yes. Alrighty, just hang on. Okay. True Calling. Liz Horton tries to bring Solly and Irving out of retirement, but Mandy Strasberg tries to figure out what her career strengths are.
They're in middle school. You don't need to know your career strengths.
That seemed to be kind of Odyssey doing a subversive episode about how middle schools kind of push you to know where you're going before you start high school.
Yeah, and it's stupid. Don't do that. Stop it, high school. Middle school. Stop it. They don't really need to know until, like, their junior year anyway.
Hmm.
So,
Well, Liv is clearly passionate about this.
I'm sorry.
It's no problem.
I don't like the idea of forcing kids to grow up too fast.
I would agree.
So, like, they're kids. Let them be kids.
Exactly. Whew.
Don't force them to grow up, because it sucks.
It does.
Growing up sucks.
Well, I wouldn't say sucks like that, but
I'm gonna be 21 in November. Growing up sucks.
well, Liv goes through her midlife crisis. We're going to talk about the actual Odyssey episode. Gabe, do you have any thoughts?
Well, the other plot point was a little weak, I thought.
Yeah.
It seemed really irrelevant, but
It's a weak episode overall. It's about finding your calling, or maybe finding your calling again. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It seems like that could have been in the episode before this.
Yeah, that would have worked better.
See, I wish they used different characters. Like, I wish they used maybe Bernard. Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be an interesting episode. Use Bernard as like, should I really do custodial work?
Could I be a lawyer?
Yeah.
There would be an episode.
Yeah.
Should I manage a group of singing kids?
Like,
Please tell me someone got that.
The Walton Five?
No, because Bernard's voice actor is the dude from the Partridge Family.
Oh.
oh my gosh.
I feel like
Just let me
Liv's...
go into a...
I feel like Liv's mind has just been blown.
I knew I recognized it from somewhere. Took the crap out of me. Gosh.
You didn't just look it up?
No.
Wait, did she know that Whit was the drunk guy on Andy Griffith's show?
She does now. Did you know Whit was originally Winnie the Pooh?
Wait, what was that guy's name?
Hal Smith.
On the Andy Griffith show.
Yeah. I don't remember the character's name.
I don't either.
Alright. And that's the truth. Jack Allen attempts to assert himself more, and Tamika Washington decides to be as painfully honest as she possibly can.
Ugh.
This is one of the episodes where, like, it's okay that they did it with a kid because kids take things so out of context.
Right.
So, like, I'm just being honest. No, you're not. There's another word for that, and I'm not allowed to say it because this is a kid's show.
And I've already bleeped out Liv before, so I'll do it again.
Really?
Yeah. You didn't listen to
I
that?
heard that.
Yeah, I think we all know that one person who is honest but could really use a bit of a smack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
There's specific words for those kind of people.
yes, there's a difference between being honest and being... I don't want to say rude, but... Anyway, the Jack Allen thing in this episode is interesting because that is our grandfather through and through.
Yeah.
What is it?
Our grandfather will not complain if someone brings him the completely wrong order.
Will he still, though? I feel like in his older age, he's...
No, Grandma would. Grandma would sue the restaurant.
Yeah, but she also won't take any free money, so...
Well, yeah, but Grandma wants that perfect photo opportunity, so...
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I'm with Jack in this respect. If I ask for no pickles on my sandwich and I put pickles on, I don't care.
Yeah.
If I ask for a chicken sandwich and I'm given a fish sandwich, I'm going to say something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
if you, like, actually don't like pickles, then I
Yes.
think it'd be warranted to say something.
Yes. How did I get a fish sandwich from Chick-fil-A? This week's episode brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
oh my gosh.
I mean, if anyone's going to
Well, they
sponsor
used
us,
to carry Odysseys.
do they?
No, not anymore. They used to, though.
Oh, right. True. I could eat there 7 times a day, 'cause I'm in love with Chick-fil-A. We're trying to get some cross-promotional material going on here, so maybe Chick-fil-A or the guy who sings that song will
T.
hear it.
Hawkins.
Yes.
Should we invite him on the show?
That would be quite the experience.
Yeah. it would.
Yeah, it would.
Oh, Liv knows who Tim Hawkins is. This is...
Yeah, I
Good.
do.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, he does perform at our school quite frequently.
really?
I had to miss that show.
Yeah.
It was really awkward. I missed that show because Nate had bought tickets, and just before the show, we broke up. And we
Oh.
would have sat next to each other.
Whoa.
And then you
So
found...
where
We're-
And then you downgraded to
Did he go?
Bob.
Nope,
Hmm.
neither of us did.
And then you took a massive step down with Bob.
Whoa. Shots fired.
You don't even know Nate.
I know,
You
Nate.
don't even-
I know, I'm kidding. I mean, Bob looks like Eugene, so he's got to be a pretty good guy.
There you go, yeah.
It's kind of freaky. We're not going to put a picture of Bob on here because he might become uncomfortable. And I have to go grab the camera charger, so Gabe and Liv, please continue talking about this episode.
Alright.
Which one is it? I forgot.
The one where Tamika's being honest.
Oh.
Oh, it's the,
What's the other?
Jack Allen and the fast food.
oh yeah. Ah!
I think it's kind of painful when you're sitting there and they don't get their order fixed.
Yeah. 'Cause I know people who are like that.
Mhm.
I call it pushovers.
Yeah. Or,
I think Jack Allen was like such a pushover.
I probably shouldn't tell that story. They might listen to the podcast, but
Oh well.
just to say a little pushover.
Gabe, if you just tell the story, I'll decide if it needs to be edited out or not.
Well, if they listen to the podcast, they'll get pretty mad at me.
Is it people I would know or friends of yours?
Friends of mine.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah.
That would be kind of unfortunate. Yeah, and my dad's the same way. Because he hates mayonnaise, he'll just be scraping the mayonnaise off the bun.
Yeah, I'll do that. Unless it's like an overly amount, and then I'd be like, yo,
Yeah,
I said no mayo.
Well, your dad will just get a slim one, though.
exactly. Brought to you by Jimmy John's.
I love you.
Yes.
So great.
Last corporate sponsor we'll have this week, but because Subway said no.
Darn. But we love their sandwiches.
Yes. Someone give us a corporate sponsorship. Or
Please.
like Tim Hawkins can use us in his material.
There you go. We have to do a lot of negotiating.
True.
Well,
Alright.
we have 1,000
Sure.
subscribers, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Pretty good.
True. A Lamb's Tale. Tamika Washington goes to great lengths to retrieve a stuffed lamb. Nick tries to figure out why Mike passed up a great job opportunity, and Mark Horton attempts to live his life the best way he can.
The whole lamb thing was kind of weird.
Well,
Because
it's one.
it's like 2 different kids supposedly owned this lamb. So,
Okay, John. Sorry, John sent us a Snapchat to hope the show's going well, but he had a 3-second picture and he had about a paragraph worth of text.
no.
And no, we do not have a Yeah, we don't have a podcast Snapchat, by the way, so don't look for it.
I wouldn't.
That would be entertaining.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be involved in it.
We've got
'Cause I
podcasting.
just complain about stuff
True.
at 2 in the morning.
True. And this podcast has an Instagram, so we can do an Instagram story. But back to the episode. So to me, this is the Christmas episode. That one Christmas episode every long-running show has, where it's a lot of separate, smaller character stories that wind up coming together in this swelling holiday moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't really like those.
I don't either.
Yeah. I mean, at least it's not like the Arthur Christmas episode, but actually debunks the existence of Santa during its runtime.
Oh gosh. Speaking of debunking Santa, you're gonna think I'm a monster. Okay? I was the kid in kindergarten that told people that Santa wasn't real. I
Oh,
was that kid.
our 5th grade teacher told our entire class.
Yeah, it's 5th grade.
5th grade.
Imagine how-
Well, yeah, but some...
imagine how
You still believe in
traumatized-
5th grade, Will?
Well, no, but some parents were upset about it. Then she told the class, dogs don't go to heaven.
Oh, that's sad. Don't do
I
that.
disagree.
More parents got mad at that. I mean,
Yeah.
if this was a kindergarten teacher telling the students Santa isn't real. But, by the way, we are assuming 7-year-olds are not watching this show.
Well,
But, I was that kid.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Yes. By the way, if we accidentally debunk the existence of Santa for your kids, we'll send you a Christmas gift. So please just leave a picture of your kid's sad face in the comments.
the last Doctor Who Christmas special. How about that?
Oh yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
No, we'll send you a free Adventures Through Odyssey t-shirt.
That don't exist yet.
Yes, if someone would make us a logo.
No, please don't. Don't make us live.
I was Pokemon hunting the other day and saw someone with an Odyssey shirt on.
Nice.
So, okay, back to the episode. Okay, I understand giving to the poor.
Yeah.
I will say the ending where it's, look at how happy she is with my childhood prized possession. She can keep it. You can't just buy her a nicer stuffed animal. I feel like that would,
Yeah.
Alright.
in some ways, that would be a better thing to do.
Well, I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I have like all my stuffed animals from when I was a kid, but I'm not just gonna give them to some random Joe or Jane. No, I'm gonna pass them down to my Joes and Janes.
Oh my.
So, it's like these were my toys when I was your age.
Right. Sorry if we're coming off as selfish sounding. I just feel like, to some extent, buying a new toy is a better thing to do, because it doesn't feel like I'm just throwing this away because I need to make space.
They suggest that you buy new toys for things like that.
Yes. And if you're my church, you redistribute gifts, but we're not going to complain about that right now.
Whoa.
I'll tell Gabe and Liv about that when we're done recording. Anyway, any other comments on the episode?
No.
Alright. Sorry. A glass darkly. Here we go, everyone. Dr. Hawthorne places Trent into detention for something he didn't do, and Bart gives away Washington's old vacuum cleaner as an Electric Palace prize. I hate this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so now the Oddcast will go to great lengths to defend this episode. I am not going to be so pleasant about it.
Wow, shots fired again.
You just hash it out, Will. Hash it out.
Okay, so
I agree with you.
okay,
Get on that soapbox.
so I don't know why they have to write Dr. Hawthorne as the most irrational human being on the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And okay, yes, I get we're supposed to kind of feel happy at the ending that Trent saved his life, but he'll never know it, and that's supposed to be kind of the point. However, I always kind of hate where the kid misses a life-changing opportunity because someone was not being rational. And I know the episode is setting up like God works in mysterious ways, but we never get to see what those mysterious ways are. Alright, I'm done.
It's just one of those episodes where it's just like, no, none of this would happen in real life.
Right.
None of it. Because all you'd have to do is just say, hey, Dr. Hawthorne, here's how it is.
Well, no, you could in theory just go to the principal and explain what happened. The school probably has security footage at this point.
Yeah. You'd think.
Yes. And then the other half of this episode, the vacuum cleaner thing, is amusing, I guess, because it's a Bart Rathbone scheme, but it's not...
I'm starting to get to the point where just Bart Rathbone is just... I just don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, stop.
He leaves the
Don't worry
show
about him
pretty...
being here forever.
Yeah. He leaves the show pretty soon, so...
The whole
Yeah.
family leave?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, then they replace Rodney with the best character possible, and then he leaves. Anyway, so... Does anyone have any other comments on the episode, or can I keep going?
You can
Go
go.
ahead.
Keep going.
Honestly, I don't have anything else to say. It's just frustrating to me that, okay, not to compare it to an Arthur episode, but it's like the Arthur Punches DW episode, where no one seems
Oh,
to...
yeah.
Where no one seems... Oh, go ahead.
Everything's just blown out of proportion.
Right, where no one's really seeming to jump into Arthur's side that, yes, he did something wrong, although Trent did nothing wrong in this episode, but everyone's acting like he's committed the ultimate sin, and then Whit should really have maybe stepped in for Trent with the music people, or, like, someone should have stepped in for Trent at the school. It's just kind of...
And I don't think there's ever, like, this one teacher who just hates everyone there. Because every teacher has, like, their favorite. Trent is, like, to me, seems like the one kid who wouldn't really do anything.
Yeah.
And this is, like, the first time he's acted out, and Dr. Hawthorne asks, like, acts like this is a repeated offense.
I will.
Like,
I will say there are some teachers who will have it out for the good kids because they just want to catch them doing something wrong.
but
Right.
that's dumb.
I mean, I was a good kid in school, but I wasn't one of those kids who was annoying about it.
Yeah,
So I had several teachers who were, like, really out after my head.
I had.
The kids who are annoying about it completely deserve it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was a good kid too. But I was in the background. Like, teachers probably didn't really know who I was.
Okay, I went to my second grade class had 5 kids in it, so.
Wow.
But there was a first grade class in the room as well. This was a confusing school, which I will not get
Oh,
into
so
the
split.
politics of right now.
Well,
Okay.
I was in a second and third grade split class, so.
Okay.
I'm gonna describe like the kind of kid I was in middle school. I was late to this one. Okay, so the teacher had a policy: don't be late for my class. You'll have detention. I can deal with that.
Yeah.
Passing period is like 3 minutes.
Mm.
Might have to sprint. That's okay. However, I was late by 5 seconds,
Oh.
and he gives me a detention.
Oh.
So I'm sitting in there, and there are people that I know in there, because, of course, I knew almost everyone in this school. And they're like, "Why are you here?" I said, "I was late." They're like, "You were late?" That's the kind of kid I was.
Yeah. Remind me to tell you my mom's detention story when we're done recording. We don't have time to tell it now because we're going to cross an hour if we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
But easily worst episode. Worst and best episode seem to be in the same album. That's quite interesting. The coolest dog, Wooten Bassett and his camera follow Marvin Washington and Trent Dwight around Odyssey as they prepare to start their band, The Cool Dogs.
Yeah.
I don't like this
Coolest
episode.
dog.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's a nice Spinal Tap thing.
Yeah, but it's still kind of stupid.
Right. Yeah, the camera jokes don't quite work because it's a radio show, but,
Just a little.
This is one that I had listened to every night for probably over a year.
oh wow.
So it's got a special place in my heart.
Yeah. I mean, it is it's a solid episode listening to it again. I forgot how well done it is.
Yeah. It's, there's some funny jokes.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
Wooten, and he's funny.
It was
Oh,
more.
Woon's great.
Yeah. It was more along the lines of, "Okay, Marvin, you can do it. Just get off your knees. You're embarrassing me." Well, any other comments, or are we kind of running out? We're running out of time here, so.
Yeah.
All right, that wraps up this episode and our rating for the album, everyone.
4.
6.5.
I'm gonna say 7.5.
I did not like this album at all.
I
Like,
the
the bad ones really outweighed the good ones.
right, the problem is the good ones are really good, but then we've also got some truly epic fails.
Yeah.
So
I basically just gave it a 6 because of Sunday Morning Scramble.
yeah, I'm the coolest dog, but yeah. Okay.
Wasn't enough to save it for me.
Yes. So it is time for the trivia question of the week. What is the name of the dive Mr. Washington does into the pool?
Oh my gosh, I know this one.
In the episode Bringing Up Dads.
Yeah.
You changed it from the episode we did.
Oh my gosh, what was it? It's like the triple flip whale flop or something. Oh my gosh. No.
It's the triple whale flip belly flop, so Liv essentially got it.
Yay!
So join us next week when the schedule's a little weird because sometime this week, Gabe, John, Leah, and I will record an episode on the new album Without a Hitch. Then whoever can make it will be back at our regularly scheduled time to record album 46, A Date with Dead and Other Calamities. So we shall see. Well, that wraps up this episode. I'm Will.
I'm Gabe.
I'm Liv.
We'll see you next week.